Meanwhile, Thane Rosenbaum is joining us live. He's a law professor and legal analyst. Professor, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. We just heard from Logan there that the nominee could be announced by this Saturday. I believe the president has an event this Saturday. Some wonder if he's going to announce it there or not. Either way, some think they know who it's going to be. It may be Amy Coney Barrett. Some say she's the front runner. A lot of people are questioning, is she too conservative for the courts? What are your thoughts and opinions on that? What have you heard?
Well, Sean, she's not too conservative for the court. The question is she too conservative for the Senate, right? Because when she was appointed to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, it was a very contentious nomination process, in part because of her, she has very strong views. She's a Catholic, and she has very strong religious views. And so that became sort of an obstacle for her. And so I think the reservations about her is that given the fact there's only 42 days and the Republicans are trying to make this happen, should they not in fact should the president not present someone who might be more amenable to the senators, because there's already a controversy associated with this election year vacancy.
Well, there was a pushback on that. Senator Dianne Feinstein pushed her on that. I want to play this for you and get your reaction.
Do you consider yourself an Orthodox Catholic?
I am a Catholic, Senator Durbin.
The dogma lives loudly within you, and that's of concern.
Meaning, not being able to bend from your religious beliefs, such as like 10 Commandments and other things in the Bible, that's set in precedent there. Is that a problem for being a justice on the Supreme Court?
Sean, the Founding Fathers did not say that religious people are unqualified or are not unable to serve in the capacity of a Supreme Court justice because they may have some bias with respect to freedom of religion. It's only in the post-Robert Bork era that we so thoroughly interrogate everything you've ever said, everything you've ever done. People forget, it used to be a bipartisan tradition that if you were a qualified candidate, both parties lined up to support you. So, this is something that's new. I think children watching this process will assume that this is always this rancorous and contentious, but it's not the case. And by the way, when Democrats, whether it was Ginsburg, Kagan, or Sotomayor, they received the support of conservatives and Republicans. It does seem as if conservatives are scrutinized much more directly.
You think about Justice Kavanaugh and everything that he went through to get to where he is today. Do you think that Amy Coney Barrett has to go through as much? Obviously not the same circumstance, if you will, but are they going to go after her hard for being a Catholic? If they do, does that backfire going after her religious beliefs?
Look, the Supreme Court, Sean, over the last several terms has respected the idea of religious liberty. And religious liberty has been invoked by the Supreme Court over the last number of years to deal with all manner of constitutional questions, whether the right to privacy or First Amendment or Obamacare or abortion rights. So, a person's religion is a relevant question, but it should never be dispositive. And I agree, given the fact that President Trump would in part nominate Coney Barrett because it will please the evangelical base that has supported him so directly, it shouldn't be a surprise that that issue will come up, and it might in fact backfire, because this is a woman, a mother who has 7 children, who as a law professor was never shy about expressing her religious views.
Yeah, from Metairie, Louisiana, actually there. Another name that was floated, there were 5 names, by the way, that were, strong contenders. Barbara Lagoa, our own Emerald Robinson of NewsMax here reported that Barbara Lagoa may be out of it. Do you have any reasoning as to why that could be possible?
I do, Sean. It's the exact opposite. The Senate confirmation hearings for Judge Lagoa were not contentious at all. And in fact, she received a fair number of votes from Democratic senators. And everyone is always afraid of another Souter, right? Justice Souter. Remember, Supreme Court justices serve for a lifetime. And they oftentimes break the hearts of the president who appoints them because they don't align themselves with the same ideological views that he or she assumed they had. And I suspect that they're worried about Legawa, that she hasn't been on the bench very long. We don't really know what her judicial philosophy is. How do we know she's not another justice suitor? With Amy Coney Barrett, you get what you get. And by the way, as you pointed out with Kavanaugh, for the most part, Kavanaugh, even more so than Gorsuch, has pleased President Trump and pleased his evangelical base. The question for Judge Legawa is, who does President Trump want to court more for this high court? Does he want to court evangelicals, or does he want to court Hispanics and Cubans of Florida with that rich state of electoral votes for the Electoral College? It's a simple question.
Yeah, and again, abortion rights, is this behind all of that? That'll be one of the big questions, Roe v. Wade. Thane Rosenbaum joining us live.
I think he feels Comey Barrett is more reliable there. I think that's what he thinks.
You're definitely going to hear a question about that for sure. Thane, I appreciate it. Professor joining us live. Thank you so much, Thane Rosenbaum.